And for more insight on the Islamic State and other groups, I'm joined by Thomas Sanderson. He is co-director and senior fellow for the Transnational Threats Project in the Center for Strategic and International Studies. Welcome back to the show.
Thank you very much.
I want to ask you about IS. It's been dominating the headlines lately. Is it experiencing an explosive growth, or has it always been around and we're just now hearing more and more about it?
Well, it's been around for many years in other iterations. Of course, it was al-Qaeda in Iraq under Abu Musab al-Zarqawi. Then it became the Islamic State in Iraq. And then a couple of years ago, it transitioned to the Islamic State of Iraq and al-Sham, or Greater Syria. And now it's the Islamic State. So it's going through a number of name changes. But it has definitely been around in a number of forms. It's been lethal for many, many years. So lethal, in fact, and so dangerous that al-Qaeda sent a letter, al-Qaeda core leadership sent a letter in July of 2005 asking then leader Zarqawi to, one, stop killing so many Shia, number two, to stop the public beheadings because it was impacting public relations efforts on the parts of al-Qaeda core leadership. They've been around for a while, they're doing a lot of damage, and now their success in their minds is a real magnet for fighters from around the world.
So that being said, is there competition? You said that it's evolved and probably continues to evolve. So is there competition between the new IS and al-Qaeda?
Oh, no doubt about it. And clearly this statement about establishing an al-Qaeda presence across South Asia may have already been planned a long time ago, but in light of the dramatic advances by IS and its essential position at the vanguard of the global jihad movement, al-Qaeda core leadership had to come out and remind people of their relevance, if they in fact do have some. Also, because of the recent U.S. raid into Somalia against al-Shabaab, one of the declared al-Qaeda affiliates that may have killed the leader of that group, who is also a senior leader of the overall al-Qaeda senior leadership, could have also prompted this message by Zawahiri saying, look, we're still here, we're relevant, and we're going to establish ourselves in South Asia.
So what are they doing now? Are they competing for recruits? Are they competing for funding? Let's see how far we can go, how much territory we can gain. Will they ever go up against each other, or will they remain separate?
Well, in some ways they have gone up against each other, because Jabhat al-Nusra, one of the groups you referenced in an earlier story, is the official al-Qaeda affiliate in Syria, and they have fought the Islamic State during different battles and engagements inside Syria. So there actually has been fighting inside of the al-Qaeda family before the Islamic State was kicked out in February of this year. So they could engage again, and probably at this moment there are ongoing battles between the al-Qaeda affiliate, again Jabhat al-Nusra, and IS inside of Syria.
So talk about some of the other groups that are getting a lot of attention. You mentioned al-Shabaab. We're also seeing a lot of activity in China, again,
Sure.
Back to Africa. Can you talk about that and how they all relate?
Sure. Well, as all of the stories point out, we have an unbelievably disruptive, destabilized global system right now, and not just Russia and Ukraine, but clearly all of these non-state actors are really challenging governments, both on a governance level and on a security level. So we have groups in northern Mali and southern Algeria, that's al-Qaeda in the Islamic Maghreb. You do have some militants in western China, though they are not part of the al-Qaeda network. Then you have al-Qaeda in the Arabian Peninsula in Yemen, which prior to the Islamic State was viewed as the most significant threat to the United States homeland, which I believe it still is because of their ability, proven ability, to get people into the country. Then you have, of course, the other groups, Shabaab and al-Qaeda core leadership, which is essentially bunkered in western Pakistan. It's quite a network. There is competition and fighting among them, but overall it is quite a significant threat to the United States, to China, to our allies and partners around the world.
So how do those countries get together, or how are they looking at dealing with all these different groups and trying to anticipate what they may do next or get ahead of in handling them?
Well, looking at it very reluctantly, because these problems defy solution at this point. We can put some military weight against these groups, but it requires political solutions, it requires partnerships and alliances that have not been formed or which are stale at this point. This is one of the most difficult problems. Any solution that people can offer to this has some caveat to it, a very negative downside.
So
it's tough.
So they will be discussing some of this at the NATO summit. Do you think anything can come out of that?
Yes, and I think something has already come out, and that is a recognition that NATO, one, has to be a better partner on this, that they are under threat. Don't forget, around 3,000 Europeans have gone into Syria and Iraq to fight. So Europe very much knows this is a threat. Whether they will enact measures as Great Britain has already done to restrict people who travel to the region and look at them when they come back. France is doing this as well. I think they've gotten the message. They see the threat. When and if bombs go off inside Europe, they will certainly begin to do more. We've had of course, the shooting inside the museum in Brussels earlier this year. So the blowback has already begun.
All right, Thomas Sanderson, as always, we appreciate your time. Thank you so much
You're
for
welcome.
joining us.